The biggest mistake heartbroken people make is believing they weren't enough. If I had been enough, they would have stayed. And that lie can keep you stuck for years, because while you're busy questioning your worth, you're not questioning their capacity. And those are two very different things. So if someone made you feel chosen, then confused, then hopeful, then abandoned, stay with me. Because what I'm about to explain could save you months or even years of self-blame. Let me ask you something. How much time have you spent trying to understand someone who never understood themselves? Seriously, how many nights? How many conversations replayed in your head? How many imaginary scenarios? How many times have you asked yourself, did they love me? Did I ask for too much? Was I too emotional, too available, or too needy, too intense, or too much? And the whole time, you may have been solving the wrong problem, because sometimes the issue was never your value, it was their capacity. That's the sentence I want you to remember. Not your value, their capacity. Because there's a massive difference between someone caring about you and someone being capable of loving you. Most people think those are the same thing. They're not. Some people genuinely care. Some people genuinely miss you. Some people genuinely feel something for you. And yet, they still create chaos everywhere they go. Why? Because caring and capacity are not the same muscle. A person can care deeply and still be emotionally unavailable. A person can care deeply and still avoid difficult conversations. A person can care deeply and still disappear when intimacy becomes real. That's what breaks so many hearts. Because good people assume if they cared, they would have acted differently. Not necessarily. Sometimes they acted exactly according to their emotional limitations. And that realization changes everything. Because now you're no longer asking, why wasn't I enough? You're asking, what were they actually capable of giving? Huge difference. Think about the pattern. Maybe they came close, then pulled away. Opened up, then shut down. Wanted connection, then seemed overwhelmed by it. Warm, then cold. Present, then distant. Interested, then confusing. And every time it happened, you looked for the answer inside yourself. That's what heartbreak does. It turns you into a detective investigating your own worth. Meanwhile, the evidence was pointing somewhere else entirely. A lot of people enter relationships carrying wounds they never healed. No healthy communication, no emotional safety, no consistency, no model for what secure love even looks like. So they become adults trying to build intimacy with tools they never learned. They want love, but vulnerability terrifies them. They want connection, but closeness overwhelms them. They want stability, but stability feels unfamiliar. And when something feels unfamiliar, it often feels dangerous. So they sabotage the very thing they claim they want. Then comes the part that hurts. Instead of admitting their limitations, they make you question your needs. You ask for communication, you're too needy. You ask for consistency, you're too demanding. You ask for clarity, you're putting pressure on them. You ask for reassurance, you're too much. No, let's be honest. Most of what people call too much is basic relationship behavior. Communication, consistency, honesty, effort, reliability, basic emotional presence. That's not asking for the moon. That's asking for the foundation. And when someone lacks the capacity to provide those things, your normal needs can feel overwhelming to them. Not because your needs are unreasonable, because their capacity is limited. Now let's talk about the reason you're still thinking about them. This part is important. You may believe you're attached to the person, but often you're attached to the confusion. Confusion creates obsession. Confusion creates grief. Confusion keeps you searching, keeps you analyzing, keeps you hoping, keeps you emotionally invested. Your brain keeps thinking, one more conversation, one more explanation, just one more chance, one more piece of information, then everything will make sense. But here's the truth. Sometimes what you're chasing is not the person, it's resolution. You're trying to fix a story that never added up. You're trying to force clarity from someone who couldn't provide it. And that can become a prison. So let me give you a reframe. Their inconsistency was not proof that you were difficult to love. It was proof that they were difficult to rely on. Read that again. Their inconsistency was not proof that you were difficult to love. It was proof that they were difficult to rely on. Massive difference. Healthy love doesn't keep moving the finish line. Healthy love doesn't make you guess where you stand every week. Healthy love doesn't make affection feel like a reward you have to earn. Healthy love creates steadiness. And if you've lived through enough chaos, steadiness becomes one of the most attractive qualities in the world, because real love often feels less like fireworks and more like peace. Less like anxiety, more like safety. Less like guessing, more like knowing. And here's the shift that changes everything. Stop asking, why wasn't I enough? Start asking, why was I investing so heavily in someone who couldn't meet basic standards? That question returns your power, because the story changes. You were not powerless. You were investing in the wrong place. Those are not the same thing. And yes, they may come back. Some do. Loneliness returns. Regret returns. Nostalgia returns. Access becomes available again. But before reopening the door, ask yourself one question. Have they actually grown, or are they simply back? Because those are very different things. And one last thing before we finish. You're not healing from losing the only person you could have loved. You may be healing from attaching to someone who lacked the capacity to love you the way you deserved. That realization hurts, but it also frees you, because your future was never hiding inside their limitations. It's waiting on the other side of them. And until then, stop worshiping potential. Start respecting capacity.